This is the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 31 final with Empire Troeput versus Aware Gaming's FenTyrris. I am joined by Ville One Must Fall Tuomisto. Say hi, Ville.
Hello, everyone.
And we'll get the game started right away once I tell the players that they're good to go.
Yeah, I have to say that I have to congratulate both of the players, MP Pro and I forgot another player who did lose.
Naughty Bunny.
Naughty Bunny, yeah, sorry. Naughty Bunny for going this far, because it's not easy. There is a lot of players in each of these tournaments, so getting in third to fourth place is always, of course, it leaves something in like bad taste in your mouth, but it's really, really good like achievement. Because there's a lot of good players in these tournaments.
Yep, beating those 124 other players to get to the top 4 is really something to be proud of, despite leaving at the semi-final stage. And we get the invite to spectate from Troeput as well. FenTyrris' hand, a Zombie Chow and Polar Shredder. Something is coming to join him as well. While Troeput's hand starts from 3 mana with the Muster for Battle. I'd say that this Paladin Mirror, I would not have expected to see a Paladin Mirror in our weekly matchup finals. Considering that it is one of the weakest classes against Patron Warrior, Paladin Mirrors are definitely a big surprise. Now, FenTyrris curving out perfectly into a 1-drop and a 2-drop. While Troeput is forced to play just a hero power on his turn number 2. It's starting to look a lot like it's going to be heavily favored for FenTyrris, simply because of the better draw power in the beginning of the game. Both players are running a fairly similar kind of deck, except for the fact that I think Troeput had a Quartermaster up with double Muster for Battle, while I don't think we've seen any Muster combinations from FenTyrris. Do you remember?
No, I think we haven't seen any of those. And with that aggressive start, he basically forced Troeput to use that Consecration, what is actually quite big in this matchup, because you want to try to save those Consecrations for usage just when there is a huge pile of guys on both sides, but you couldn't get in that point, so now there will be quite a fight for the table, and there is the Master for Battle.
Yep, that's the Master for Battle for FenTyrris. He actually does have them as well.
Yeah.
So this might be a mirror matchup, which means that the player with the better draws just wins straight up. There's no reason for you to item beak anything right now. I guess checking to see what you're gonna get from your own Shredder is okay. Had it been a Doomsayer or any other minion with major drawbacks, it would have meant playing something different. But I think that the Muster for Battle hero power this turn is actually pretty much required right now. If you're, well, you can also be super passive and not do anything except just hero power. What's the value there?
I don't know, actually. I would want to see a little bit more on the table. You didn't have any like play for that turn, and in the next turn, what you will be playing? Like you will be hero power, maybe playing a master, like I don't know.
The only reason why I think that he wants to get the Master for Battle held on in his hand is the fact that he wants to use it with the Quartermaster for guaranteed value.
Yeah.
But still, look at this board. Troeput has got 4 dudes and the weapon for it, while FenTyrris could have had the weapon and the 3 dudes ready to just completely trade out that board. There would be nothing left except for that 5/5 Sylvanas. The fact that he did not play the Master for Battle, he gave such a huge tempo swing in favor of Troeput that I don't think he might not be able to come back from it. At least not very fast.
Yeah. Interesting, he trades before he goes. Well, yeah, he wants to trade his dog, so yeah. He would basically now have. Well, this traded decently for FenTyrris like side. But again, a little bit awkward turn. He's basically 1 mana off from doing like decently well. He would play the Quartermaster. Now he has to play the Master. Still in quite awkward position.
Yep, and the second Consecration being used because he knows that he cannot afford the swing from the Quartermaster to happen. So both AoEs from Troeput have been used. There's Tyrion in both players' hands, but Troeput hasn't used his Sylvanas and FenTyrris has. FenTyrris' Sylvanas got very, very low value by only mind controlling one silver-handed fruit, while Troeput's Sylvanas still has the potential to do miracles.
But this is big. If now Troeput drops his Tyrion, it can be silenced, and that's actually quite big.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge swing. If you use the silence on that Sylvanas, though, that's a more safe silence target. So I guess the reason he's thinking about playing the Sylvanas is the fact that he doesn't want to get the Tyrion silenced at all. Double Quartermaster in Troeput's hand as well, and that's going to be bad because both musters have been used, haven't they? Or no, at least one muster has been used. Yeah, so you can use one muster with a combination of a Quartermaster, but the second one is going to be used on a simple dude from hero power.
Yeah. Or you can just go with one, and if they survive, you just push another one, and then you get a huge guys, and you can basically have guys that are 4/4 and just will go for bonkers. And this is actually awesome that the Knife Juggler did hit that Sylvanas, because now you have option to go for true silver champion, trade it off.
But if you want, you can also go for the Lights Justice play into that silver-handed fruit and leave. Wow, leave Sylvanas up, because then he would have been forced to attack with the Sylvanas and the true silver champion into the Tyrion anyway. Yeah. So this is the same play, but instead of forcing them to do the trade, you're doing the trade for them, which is interesting. I get why he didn't play the true silver, because if he had played the true silver, then if Tyrion gets killed, the death rattle overrides one of your better weapons. So that's the reason why you don't want to do that. Yeah. And the reason he took out the Sylvanas as well is so it cannot attack into the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, overall I think maybe he, well, I don't know. Having 2 towns and maybe forcing him to anyway take the 6 on this trade is not that bad.
I know it's definitely not bad. You've seen both Consecrations as well. Yeah. So the only board clear you're afraid of right now would be Equality in combination with a Wild Pyromancer. And that's not something that is necessarily included in a Paladin tournament deck. So you're just free. As FenTyrris, you're free to flood the board with everything you've got, really.
Yeah. I think that Pyromancer has been dropped in most of the decks, because it's more like a tech for playing those against aggressive decks, and something what you see in ladders.
Exactly. There's the combination of the Quartermaster muster.
Sadly, there is no Consecration in Fenrir's hand. There's 17 cards left, and they both are over there, so it's it can be basically moved with these current guys, but it will take some effort.
Yep, definitely. Situation is going to be difficult. With that Older Peacekeeper play into the Silverhand Recruit, you can actually use your Knife Juggler to clear out one of them without having to lose your Knife Juggler. So it's looking very, very good for FenTyrris right now. The Tyrion hasn't been played from Troeput, so that's pretty much the only thing that can completely stop you in your tracks. But even then, you're still holding on to the Ashbringer. You've got ways to pop that Divine Shield with the Silverhand Recruit or the Armored Beacow. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I think you can go for Tyrion next turn. You have to go with like, oh, he's going. I would go for Healbot and Belcher, because that would leave you more bodies on the table. Because then in the next turn you can follow up with this, and then the board should be more suitable for this big guy, that it at least should be removed with weapon, and 6 to the face in this point is quite good.
True. I think we're gonna see the Slime being sacrificed for the Divine Shield, play another reinforcement into a quartermaster, 2 3/3s, and then use that weapon in combination with the item beagle to kill off the 6/6.
No, he wants to go for the kill.
Yep, he wants to go for the aggressive option, and interestingly enough, since those juggles are hitting perfectly, he doesn't have to sacrifice any minions. He can just keep all of his minions and go for the face damage straight up, leaving that 1/1 taunt up in case the Ashbringer would otherwise be a problem. So, I think it's all going in favor of FenTyrris right now. Do you think that the fact that Troeput was so eager to use both his consecrations, it's enabled FenTyrris' plays to be so aggressive, or could there have some other form of play where he could have just held on to those consecrations? Were they absolutely necessary?
Well, at least the first one, I think it was needed because there was so much pressure coming on the board. The second one, I think he did get decent value out of that, but there was issue that there was just a lot better value guys coming in the other side, in FenTyrris side, and those juggles, they were
perfect.
Yeah.
So. 1-0 in favor of FenTyrris right now. Let's see what the other picks from him are. He's got Warlock and Warrior left. So you're seeing Troeput's Druid, Paladin, and Warlock.
I would go for a Warrior.
I would go for Warrior as well. Given the fact that the Warrior is the better pick, you might also go for the Warlock, so you get the worst options out of the way, so to speak. But he wants to put himself at a situation where he would be 2-0 in the lead, so he would need only 1 win out of 3 matches with that Warlock of his. Completely understandable.
I think there was a little bit, I don't know, not counter play, but there was some mind plays, because now there will be a Warrior against Warlock matchup, so.
Yup.
And this will be interesting, because this most likely will be quite heavily favored for a Warlock.
Indeed, Troeput was able to read his opponent, considering the fact that what we just said out loud about the players wanting to make sure that they get the favorable position for themselves. If Troeput now gets this win, he's going to be left with Druid and Paladin, which are both very weak against this Patron Warrior. But as a Paladin, would you consider yourself to be favored against a Handlock? Well, I don't think so. I don't think it's a great matchup for you, but I'd be interested to hear what you think about it.
Well, I think it's... I think the Handlock is better on that matchup, but it's not that huge difference. I think it's more of those 55-45 or 60-40 matchups, but you can win with decent draws. I think this matchup, well, like we can see here, it's quite awesome draw from FenTyrris, and it looks that he can actually pull this one off also. So it's interesting. I don't know which one I would prefer to go.
True. You're still forced to face that dreadful Handlock at some stage anyway, and I guess Troeput was really confident that if he gets the mirror matchup, he's the better player there. So opting to go for your own strengths and playing around those is a very valid option.
Yeah, I think FenTyrris just calculated that he has better odds to win if he just goes for this side of play, and I think that's right. You can have, like, all of the matchups are at least decent for you.
True. Thaurisan going down on a full hand of 9 cards. It's gonna get ridiculously good value. 6 mana for 9 mana advantage. So you're basically getting a free 5/5 plus 3 extra mana crystals.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's sick in so many ways. Unfortunately for Troeput, FenTyrris does not have the required amount of damage to push through that 16 damage gate. So we're probably going to see FenTyrris go for the weapon attack with the Taskmaster into the 5/5. And with that 6 mana, would you consider going Cruel Taskmaster into your 2/2 so you can draw 2 cards? Oh, you can't. You can only draw 1 even then, because you can't get your face damaged for the Battle Rage.
Yeah, this is the only thing what is quite bad when you don't let the guys in the other side hit you once in the first, like, start of the game.
Yeah, but your Battle Rages get less value.
Yeah.
Opting to go for the really passive Hero Power Pass and clearing out the Slaughter Sun, as I said earlier. It's not wrong, definitely it's an option, since you're holding on to cards that would not get great value this turn. Even with the Warsong Commander Frothing Berserker combination, you'd still only get 4 damage out in addition to that, and it's not enough. So, Troeput decides, well, why not throw down the biggest threat I have right now. Since I don't have Boom, I can still get the 7 mana Rag, and what you gonna do about that? I don't think there's an answer. There's no executes.
No, there's no executes, there is no... well...
no draw.
Yeah,
except
you can
for the
basically put some damage out and hope he doesn't have heals, or hope he doesn't have... well, Molten Giants would be the worst, but as we can see, it's not the case. But there is, like, there is no good place on this hand.
Yep, and you want to use that Frothing Berserker as an ender card.
Yeah.
So if you're forced to use it with the Warsong Commander on this turn, you're gonna use it with the Whirlwind, and I believe use the Battle Rage after that to try and draw 2 or even 3 cards, since both your Commander and Berserker are wounded. With that Whirlwind, you could have gotten 4-6 damage where you wanted, and that 2-card draw from the... Actually, would you have had the mana? No, you would have been 1 mana off.
Yeah.
Since even with the coin, you would only have 8. So it's not an option. That's why he sort of sacrifices this 1 Warsong Commander, don't you think? That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, but you have to put something over there, and I think you have 2 of those Warsong Commanders, and if it's in some odd reason it's not removed, even if it's just left over there to do something, it would be awesome. But of course, most likely it will be removed by some spell or a minion, or at least Rack will snipe it. So
if you're gonna sacrifice something, then why would you sacrifice the commander though? Isn't something like just a Cruel Taskmaster okay? Because if you used it on the Watcher, then the silence would remove the buff anyway.
Yeah, only thing what I would like make a case out of, like, you could say that you want to try to go for a win with Warsong Commander and then Frothing, and then you want to have maybe another combo, and that's why you would drop. But it's hard in that point because you don't have any answers in your hand. You have to do something, or you just are basically playing dead.
Yep, true. And the only cycle he's holding on to right now is Loot Hoarder.
Yeah.
I don't see a way. If you go for Commander, Loot Hoarder, and kill it off into something, then you've got 3 mana left. And with that 3 mana, if you top deck your... If you top deck your Execute, then you can go Whirlwind, coin Execute.
Yeah.
With the Frothing as well, can't you? No, you can't. You're still 1 off.
Oh yeah, you can. But yeah, like case to argue, you want to have a Chromos in your hand and Cruel Taskmaster for turn 10. So if you can in turn 9 manage the board in position where you can burst him down with that 12 damage, it's only thing what basically in that logic makes sense. But it's not. It's hard to like try to make any good plays when you have these cards in your hand, and the enemy has 11 healths in taunts.
Yep, 11 health in taunts and a really significant board presence.
No, sorry, 16 healths.
Oh, 16. Oh yeah, true. With that Belcher. It's something completely different. And since he has the option of silencing his Dragon Rose, it means he can snipe the lethal.
Yep, and that's, well,
that's all she wrote, so to say.
Yeah. That's something what you don't see every day, but yeah, you can silence a rag and it's a charging guy who can do tons of damage, and yeah, that's the feat.
Troeput evens the series up to 1-1. It also means that Troeput will only have the Druid and the Paladin open, and FenTyrris has the option of playing either his Handlock or his Patron Warrior. Patron Warrior is favored on both matchups, but if you play Handlock versus Druid, the Druid is going to be favored with the combo. If you play Druid against, or Handlock versus the Paladin, you're going to have a pretty okay chance of making it. So there we go. FenTyrris gets the right pick. He does not want to play against the Druid as a Handlock. So if he now plays and wins Troeput's Paladin, he's in a pretty good position to take the series and win home the coveted 50 euros and 10 Hearthstone World Championship points.
Yeah, I think it's either way you want to run this guy out, because
Job's done.
This matchup, even if you win against Druid, you have a good matchup, but if you lose against Druid, you can still have the Patron Warrior, Patron Warrior and Warlock has good matchup in Paladin, so either case, go out with Warlock and eliminate one.
That's true, because of the fact that your last deck will have favorable matchups against both. Yeah, these first couple turns are going to be very straightforward from FenTyrris. He just wants to play turn 4 Mountain Giant. I don't think there's any reason to do anything else. You could argue for the Dark Bomb, a Dark Bomb being used against the Knife Juggler, but the early game aggression is not going to be a problem. You're holding on to your Molten Giant already. You've got your Sunfury Protector and your Ancient Watcher just waiting to be utilized. I don't think FenTyrris' situation is that bad, despite the fact that the board is currently really aggressively in favor of Troeput.
Yeah, now if you just... I don't know, like if you want to... I think you want to just cycle to Mortaco and then have the option to play Ancient Watcher and Sunfury. He wants to get more guys on the table, like bigger tones who can actually trade, because now Mountain Giant doesn't trade with anything if you hold it up. So, yeah. But now there's a lot of damage in the face coming in.
That's true, but this means 1 mana Molten Giant, Sunfury Protector for your 8/8. You can silence your 1/5, which gives you an 8/5 if you want. You can silence the opposing Sylvanas, which means that the Sylvanas is no longer a threat. And you still got the mana for the Molten Giant Sunfury combo.
Yeah.
And the one extra... Nope, there is no reason to use the Dark Bomb yet. You clear out the Sylvanas 5/5 with their existing minions. Well, with the Dark Bomb, you're not going to taunt up your Molten yet. You're just going to play it. This means that if the Paladin were to be able to push out 9 damage this turn, you would actually die. But since the Paladin doesn't really have the burst, it's not a big threat.
Well, yeah, I think going Equality Consecration in this turn,
Huge.
that's quite good. That's quite good value still. So.
Yeah, quite good is the understatement of the year. That's absolutely humongous. That 8/8 getting destroyed and the big body from the Twilight Drake as well is gonna make a significant difference for that Sunfury Protector. Of course, the Watcher is still something, but it's no 8/8.
Yeah. Now comes the Loatheb, so he just wants to make sure there is no shenanigans like Shadow Flame or something what can actually deal with the board instantly. So basically making sure that FenTyrris needs to play a taunt and tapping quite aggressive. That's interesting.
I guess he's looking for future plays, because this turn these were pretty much already decided. You could either play the Sunfury or the Argus, but if you didn't play either one of them, you would just straight up die to the next turn damage coming up. So I guess maybe if he'd gotten a second Molten Giant, then he could have considered playing that first before going for the Defender options.
Well, yeah, that's true. If he hits something.
And there it is.
Yeah. So it was a good play.
Yep. Ended up being exactly right. So let's see if it's not a Doomsayer. Oh, wow. Lore Walker show. No Siphon Soul for you, at least not right now.
Yeah, but that's also not bad that if you think that, okay, I can maybe get something out of another guy's hand, what can help me out. Of course you can see there's no spells and, well, now we need something like Shadow Flame.
He wants to deny the Siphon Soul.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why he's going for that. Other option would have been to play the Mountain Giant into Sunfury Protector and have 2 8/8 taunts, since you already saw 1 silence from the item Beacall. I guess... Oh wow, he's tapping. That tap? Yes, it's mana efficient, but it's really risky.
Yeah, if there is another basic humility, humility that would be
Equality.
Equality, yeah, sorry. It would be quite close to lethal, most likely.
Exactly. If that Boombot rolls 4 to the face, would that make a difference? No. It rolls 4 on the minion. That means no clear for your opposing Sludge Belcher.
Yeah.
Since the 2/3 was just killed, the Shadow Flame is not enough to clear the board completely.
Well, actually, if you silence that Belcher, attack with your own Belcher, and then use Shadow Flame, you can actually clear, but it's so inefficient that...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
True, it's better to just leave your own taunt up.
Yeah.
To try and handle the aggression from the Paladin. Reinforce double Quartermaster buff. Means you're gonna get 6 damage to the face.
No,
sorry,
actually,
3.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 6. Yeah, there's no... Oh yeah.
It was summoned this
yeah,
turn,
yeah.
so that's the reason why it didn't attack.
And now you basically have to go for some kind of Shadow Flame play, because there's so much stuff coming in, you can't just hope that your taunts hold up, or you have to sacrifice your Boombots before actually playing your taunt.
Yeah, I think the Ordinary Farseer Shadow Flame is an okay call. Because then you can use your Boombots against the 1/2.
Yeah.
And it's still enough damage to kill most of them. There we go, where the orange hits. It hits the 2/2 and then the face.
Yeah.
And that means you're using the boom to clear out the opposing mini-bot. FenTyrris is just looking for Jiraxxus right now. He's fishing for that 1 in 8 chance to draw into Jiraxxus next turn.
Yeah.
If he gets it, the game is pretty much over. Those 6/6s will overrun Troeput in no time. Taurisan, well, Taurisan is okay, but you can't play anything with him.
It's not okay, because you can't play it. You have to go for Loatep and Belcher.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't. You would need something else, maybe Dark One, and then you could go silence that Pile Shredder. But I think silence it's not that great.
Yeah, there's the 7 mana equality.
Yeah.
You've got no options really, you have to go for it. You play it, you use the Shredder to kill her out, the Belcher, you pop down a dude, see what comes out of the Shredder. Because if you just do passively nothing and hero power pass... Oh wow, well...
Have he used any of those consecrations?
1. He used that one huge equality consecration turn early.
So yeah, that's really let it go. But maybe he hopes that the next turn he gets a little bit more value out of it, but I think... Oh no, there won't be any trading going on. Oh, no, 1.
Yeah, he decided to take care of that 1/1 because he hasn't seen the second Quartermaster yet, so that's the ultra conservative choice.
Man, if that would be a consecration, it would be quite...
Yes, it would be really big. Actually, right now, Troeput is facing certain lethal from FenTyrris.
Yeah, and that is a lethal. There is nothing you can...
He hoped to get maybe a taunt from that Shredder, but that still wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. I don't know what would actually save you from that.
So that's the FenTyrris handlock done, and he only has to eke out a victory with his patron warrior.
Yeah, and that's... you can do it, but it's 2 games in a row winning with that deck, but it's quite heavily trying to combo off, and... well...
the matchups are still in his favor, so I'd say that simply because of the fact that Troeput was unable to resist that handlock, FenTyrris has something like a 60-65% chance of taking this series easily, if you just go by the statistics.
Yeah. But then there is the Hearthstone effect.
Ah, yes, of course. And Troeput decides to go for the better matchup first, to get the Druid out of the way.
Yeah, I think this is right. You want to try to get the 1 win so you have a chance, because that...
it's mentally a big situation to be in. If you win that match, you force your opponent to go into the last round. Maybe you make them question their decisions. It makes you have the mental edge over the other.
Yeah, and always if you have come back from like brink of elimination to win the game, there's like the last game, if you have won the last like game before it, it's always a little bit more favor, I think, because you are not tilting or anything, you are just like getting the mood and just going for the flow.
True. Now, Troeput could just hero power and go for face, because there's no reason to go for that aggressive innervate play yet. You don't have a turn 3 play if you do that, and if you go for innervate coin, you have even less to play in the future. You would, of course, pop one of those 5 drops onto the board, but would you really consider that pressure to be worth it? I don't think so.
No. You want to save those for actually getting some lore or something like Dr. Boom.
Yep, Dr. Boom on turn 4, I believe.
Yeah, next turn, coming.
But he has to use the coin this turn. He has to. Or actually, he has to use the innervate, because it means that he can play the Shredder on turn 4. Innervating out that Sludge Belcher means that it'll be able to contest the opposing Acolyte plus the weapon, effectively. He's got a nice curve for turn 4 and 5 with the Shredder and the Drake, and then on turn 6 he can coin out that Boom.
Yeah.
No way to activate your Acolyte except the Whirlwind if you want to go for it. Oh, Commanding Shot. Yeah, that does work as well. It's just... this means you're not going to be using it with your patron combo.
Yeah. You want to get that, like, you don't have any of those like really juicy cards in your hand, so you basically just want to try to get like as much value you can out of the deck.
Yep, and the reason why you're attacking with that Fiery War Axe is the fact that there's a Death Spike in your hands just waiting for the chance to be utilized. FenTyrris on 5. I don't think there's any reason to play specifically something other than that Death Spite. You could go for Armor Smith, the second Acolyte of Pain, try and get more armor out of it, but that Pilot Shredder will start getting such crazy good value that I don't think those small minions would make any sense.
No.
Oh, well, is he going for it? Why would he go for it?
I think he's thinking how he can draw more cards, but yeah, I think it's more safer. You have a lot of cards you can use for, like, you can go later, like 2 Armor Smiths and Acolyte and maybe Whirlwind if you are getting low or you need a lot of answers or time, but I don't think that. I think you just want to clear the board as much as you can and drop the Emperor over there.
Yeah, that's true. And with that Spite, you're also able to clear the opposing Shredder or the Drake, depending on your preferred methods of execution. Since this Shredder was played first, its Death Rattle will be summoned first before the Whirlwind effect from Death Spite will take place. So with bad luck, there might be a 2-1, something like the Murloc, which would be taken out. But opts to go for the Drake removal. The Drake is more consistent. I understand why he decides to pop it out.
Yeah, at least now he needs to have either like use his like hero power or have a spell like Wrath to gain value out of it. So it's, I think it's better than playing little, maybe trying to push it and hope that you can kill the guy who spawns. Like now it wouldn't die.
Exactly. So the correct call was to go for the Drake removal. This is a Murloc, of course, but not the Charger. Puddle Stomper is... well, it's basically a Bloodfin Raptor, but instead of being a beast, it's just a Murloc. One of those weird tech, or actually not tech, more like tribal cards that we got from GVG that hasn't seen a lot of play. The last turn FenTyrris means that there are some funky combos available to FenTyrris this turn. Because he could flood the board with those Armor Smiths and Acolytes if he wants.
Yeah, I was just counting how much stuff he gets out of those if he can just go fully.
And that Whirlwind activation, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah. It's gonna have 15. Yeah, that's gonna be 10.
He
11,
can clear
12,
the board completely, and that Frothing Berserker will be in the absurd figures.
Yeah, he can go for like trade both of those armors, which get that guy even bigger. Sadly, there is and big game hunter, so there will be only one huge attack out of this guy. But getting 13 to the face is never a bad thing.
It's never a bad thing, indeed. These are one of those game-winning minions that if they're allowed to stay on the board for any time longer than one turn, they become a real issue that you have to deal with. And since the coin hasn't been used yet, he had the amount of mana required to put out the big game hunter as well.
Yeah, and he did want to make it just a little bit bigger, so it's even more satisfying to kill 15 guy.
Yeah, he maybe even tried to phase out FenTyrris by playing that Druid of the Claw first, like, oh, doesn't he have that big game hunter? Maybe psych out a little bit.
And Troeput now has 2 Savage Roars, but no Force of Nature, so there isn't too much pressure in that side, and now there is the Dr. Boom harassing the table, so...
I think that you can answer the Dr. Boom with just a Dr. Boom of your own and go for the face with the 4-2. Because, let's face it, if FenTyrris doesn't have anything that deals with your guys, you've already seen one Warsong Commander get played. If the Patron combo doesn't go out, then you have a pretty good situation in your hands, forcing FenTyrris to trade his Dr. Boom into your 7/7, and then using that Boombot RNG and try and snipe out the big game hunter. If FenTyrris is unlucky with those Boombots, then you're still left with either the 1/1s or the 4/2 on the board, providing pressure.
Yeah, if there was anything else he could play from his hand, I would consider doing something else than Dr. Boom, because it's really risky, but because his hand is really clunky at the moment, he can't do anything else. In next turn, if there's anything left on the board, the FenTyrris will be dead.
Exactly true. Because of those reasons, and not drawing into that second Warsong Commander, I think we're gonna see, oh yeah, the Acolyte of Pain cycle first. If you cycle into your second Charge Giver, then you've got lots of options open to you. Oh, wow. He's using those Boobot hits before attacking into the 7/7. So the Boombot RNG could have actually hit the Dr. Boom itself as well. That would have been bad for FenTyrris.
That was a little bit scary, but it worked out decently.
Yep, it did. I still think that he should attack his own Boom into Troeput's Boom, since he's facing a combo Druid. Yep.
Yeah.
And with that play, the Frothing Berserker should have been put down on the board. Maybe one bomb earlier.
Well, no, the bombs did go chain, so he would have to.
Oh, they chained.
Like,
oh, right.
Yeah.
So
After like No, first one it just hit point, yeah. But it's risky to have 2 bombs because they can either one of them can hit one shot basically to throw things down, and then you are behind on this table. So.
That's true, but since you already used one of those bombs, it's highly unlikely that it hits that guy and it hits for 4. Of course, this being Hearthstone, it would have removed this Frothing Berserker, so I understand the cautiousness from FenTyrris in this situation. Having been forced to play Dirt Corsair for 4 mana is always a bad situation where you don't want to be at, but since the options were playing nothing really compared to it, I guess it's pretty okay. Troeput was forced to use the swipe while the Acolyte of Pain was on the board. That's pretty painful.
Yeah, and that battle rage makes the game even more harder for Troeput to win, because now basically you can trade your board, just you don't have to. Well, you can actually. We want to execute over here.
I think that the execute is a true option at least, because there's not going to be many better targets for it. This druid deck, it's not going to run something like, well, maybe it's going to run Ragnaros. Ragnaros is pretty much the only thing that would be better.
But Ragnaros, like dropping Ragnaros here, isn't that good option. Like, it's decent of course, but like you could easily lose if you just drop Rag. But sadly, like we can see the hand, it's nothing like really significant except like, but now if you have a combo, you can at least do something with it. Well, no, you actually can't. Yeah.
No, you can't. Yeah, because you used your commanding shot already.
No, I was thinking if you just go for Warzone Commander, then go Green Pattern, and then Cruel Taskmaster, the first Green Pattern, you get 5, then you get 8, you get 10 damage. So but he will still go for it. So
he can either trade the Lothep with the 5/3 Green Patron, or let's see, 5, 8, 11. Oh, it's lethal. It's lethal.
Oh yeah, because the 2/2 also gets.
Yep, that's the reason why you would go for it. And there we go, FenTyrris. GG, man. Congratulations to Austria. The Aware Gaming player takes home the series 3-1, finishing with his Patron Warrior against Empire Troeput's Druid. What are your feelings about these matches, Ville?
Well, I think like all of the matches what we see were like the level was good. Like I have heard few players talking like before I was like, hey, I want to come and cast this because now I'm in free time, and they said that there's a lot of good players, there's a lot of good talent over there, and there's like tight tournaments, like the last like 8 players left, and there is no like there's no free wins or easy wins. So
true.
And this confirms it. There was really good games. There was sadly like decks I was fearing that there will be no mages or no shamans in the end, but yeah, 1 hunter only, so.
It's not bad, I'm definitely happy with the level of play that we've seen today and in our previous weeks as well. If you've enjoyed watching us, please consider following. You know how the system works. The more we get followers, the more we get viewers, the happier this makes us and our sponsors. We want to thank Fraktia for enabling us for running these weekly tournaments. Those guys are doing some great work here in Finland. Now, we're gonna leave you for 1 more week. We will be back for tournament number 32 in next week. After that, we'll go for a 1 month long summer break. So I guess I'll see you guys in 1 week, and before that, keep playing more Hearthstone.